So this way we have started with design of compression member by IS 800. We discuss about effective length of steel compression member, table number 11. Then typical cross section for the compression members. Also we have seen the SP6 also, where you can get the value of all the property connected with the section that you are going to provide for your compression member. These are the typical section you can see from this slide. Then before starting with the design, one should know about the failure mechanism of the member for which you are designing. So the steel member can fail into buckling, torsional buckling or local buckling. Right, I have discussed about the difference between buckling and local buckling and what is torsional buckling also. So we have started with this design problem, and as soon as we are going into the design part, we will discuss more criteria related to compression member as per IS 800. Till then, if you have any doubt till this slide, because I think we have not at that time, the time was over, so we have not discussed your query. So if you have any doubt, you just ask right now. Yes, quickly, yes or no. I required answer from your
No,
side.
ma'am.
No, okay,
No doubt,
fine.
ma'am.
Okay, fine. So write down this data. For column design, what you required to know the load acting on column for which you are designing your member, right, and the support condition, right. So here it is given design a column using I section. So as I explained earlier, either you can provide I section, then channel section, this polo steel section, angle section, T-bar section. All these are the section that you can provide for your column, or you can provide built up section also, means you can make your own section by joining two different section together, right. So here it is already given that you need to design for I section. Length of column is given 5 meter, means the length or the height of column is 5 meter. Load including dead load and live load is given as 1175 kilonewton. One end of the column is fixed and other is fixed. Now you feel that this data is similar to the design of reinforced concrete column member. Am I right? You are feeling that the data is somewhat same. अभी आप जो भी कर रहे हो कंप्रेशन मेंबर की डिजाइन आप आरसी में भी कर रहे हो, right. So in that also you have been given with the load, you have been given with the support condition. What is difference? Because in your right now your both subjects are having different papers, but in earlier this two section, two columns, steel and reinforced concrete column, both are in one paper, right, exam paper. So in that case what you need to see, that whether the example or compression member or column member is designed for steel material or concrete. For that you need to see the section which is given. Here it is mentioned I section. Somewhere in concrete it is mentioned grade of concrete, grade of steel and grade of concrete. So that's way you can identify whether section, whether the design is steel design or concrete design. Other than that, the column length will be given in reinforced concrete column also and steel column also. Loadings are also given in both the case, and conditions are also given in both the case. Is it clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Now coming
Ma'am.
to, yes, yes, any
No,
doubt?
yes, clear, ma'am.
Okay. Now for the steel column design, you need to refer section 7 in IS 800. So this is section 7 over here. Yes, over here. Right, design of compression member. So all the criteria for the steel column design are available in this section 7. So when the very first criteria is design strength. See, when the load is acting on any of the section, your aim should be that you are designing such a section, or you are choosing such a section that will sustain that load, or the resist that load. Means whatever is the load acting, say for example 11.75 kilonewton, your section that you are going to provide should resist more than this 1175 kilonewton. Then and then you can say that you are providing the safer design, right? So for that condition you are going to find the design strength of your section. Means what is your section strength that you are going to find from this code, right? So here design strength, you are going to find the design strength of the section, right? How to find design strength of section? This is the first clause. Common hot rolled and built up steel members used for carrying axially compression usually fail by flexure buckling. Buckling strength of this member is affected by residual stresses, initial bow and accidental eccentricity of load. Sometimes some eccentric loading will also come, so your safe design should such that it will taken care this eccentric loading also. To account for all these factors, strength of members subjected to axial compression is defined by buckling class A, B, C, D as given in table number 7. So in steel column, it is very essential that you must know about the buckling class of the column. So that buckling class are classified as class A, class B, class C and class D. So we will see this class A, B, C, D after 5-10 minutes, but on the basis of this buckling class you are providing to your section, you are designing that, right? Then 7.1.2, the design compressive strength notation is PD of a member is given by P less than PD, right? So what is P? P is the load which are acting on the structure. PD means you are designing the strength of the structure or the section by providing the safer section. Means P is the load which is acting and PD is the value you will get from your section. जो मैंने आगे बताया आपको आई सेक्शन देन एंगल सेक्शन चैनल सेक्शन वो सब प्रोवाइड करने के बाद यू विल गेट दिस PD value. And your aim should be that whatever is your acting load, that should always less than your strength of the section, right? Now how to find this PD? PD is the load, so load is equal to stress into area. So here also PD is equal to area and stress, and here this stress is defined by FCD. So PD, how you can find? AE into FCD. Now we'll see what is AE. So here AE is effective sectional area as per 7.3.2. So we'll see that in example, but AE is the sectional area of the section you are providing, right? And FCD. FCD is the design compressive stress obtained as per 7.1.2.1. So this AE you can find from 7.3.2. So I am showing that clause with you 7.3.2. This one is effective sectional area. The gross section area shall be taken as effective sectional area for all compression member fabricated by welding, bolting, riveting, so long as section is semi-compact or better. So this sectional area you can get from the SP6. SP6 I have shown you SP6 or steel table. So whatever section you have chosen from the steel table or SP6, you will get this effective sectional area. Right. Now coming to FCD, the second part is FCD. So this FCD you can get either from, as per this, you can get from 7.1.2.1. This equation is given. So from this equation you will get the FCD value. What is this equation and how to use that we will see somewhat later, but by this equation you can get the value of FCD. Right. One more method is available to find this FCD is the different charts given over here. So yes, this is table number 9A. So from this table number 9A, as it is given, design compressive stress FCD, megapascal means Newton per mm square for column buckling class A. Here same FCD value for column buckling class B. Then table 9C, again FCD value for column buckling class C, and again design compressive strength value for column buckling class D. Right. So depend on your column buckling class A, B, C, D. We'll see what is A, B, C, D. But depend on that you can choose either of this table to get the value of FCD. Clear everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. And or you can use this equation. This is a lengthy process to get the value of FCD, and that is the easiest way that you can get the FCD value directly from the table, depend on the buckling class. Here the buckling class is not required, where in the table you require the buckling class value. Right. And here for getting this value for this equation, you require the buckling class over here, stress reduction factor. So this part we will see at the time of example when needed. Right. So this way you can get your PD value, compare your PD with the P, and you can give the safer design. Right. So here in this example, this same clause I have mentioned, and the very first step for this design is to calculate the cross section area of the column that you require. Right. Chalo. Now this is your design load of column. Design load of column. A is the area, cross section area, and FCD is the stress value. Here two values, one value is known, that is your PD value. What is this? Is your load 1175 kilonewton is the load value available. P is equal to 1175 kilonewton. Right. What I am doing, I require design load on column. Design load of column, for that equation is equal to service load into partial safety factor of load. Partial safety factor of load, and this partial safety factor you can find from this table number 4. So table number 4, same as in reinforced concrete, the partial safety factors are given. Here also partial safety factors for limit state of strength and limit state of serviceability is given. Right. So here the combination, load combinations are given, dead load plus live load, and this CL strength for crane load. So this crane load we are not considering right now because we are designing only the columns. Crane load you required at the time of gantry girder design. So right now we are not considering this. Right. So if we consider only dead load and live load, then dead load partial safety factor is 1.5 and live load partial safety factor is also 1.5. So the partial safety factor for the combination dead load plus live load is 1.5. Right, and here in your data also the load is given as dead load and live load. So service load will be service load into partial safety factor. So your value is your P value is 1175 kilonewton. To get the value of B design strength over here from this load, so 1175 into 1.5. Right, so you will get this PD value. Clear everyone? What is PD? चलो कैलकुलेट करके दो मुझे फटाफट. 1175 unit is kilonewton.
1762.5.
थोड़ा जोर से.
176.5.
1762.5. And if I required in terms of Newton, so into 10 raised to 3 Newton. So this is my PD value. Simultaneously, you also need to write down in your notebook. So this is your PD value. Now our equation is PD is equal to AE into FCD. So now in this equation, PD is known, but this AE and FCD both are unknown. So there is one rule in design, either it is reinforced concrete or steel design. In very first step, you require to assume something. You require to assume one of the parameter. By that assumption, you can proceed with your design, and later on, whether your assumption is correct or not, that you can check for the safety condition. Right. So initially आपको कुछ assume करना पड़ेगा, because this is one equation and two unknown. So one equation, two unknown, you cannot find the unknown value. So what you can do is you need to assume something either from AE or from FCD. Now it is not possible at initial stage to assume this AE value. Right. So what you can assume is your stress value. Right. So this stress value at initial stage you can assume between 110 megapascal to 150 megapascal at initial stage. Right. So at initial stage you can assume the FCD value between 110 to 150 megapascal. So now what I am doing, I am providing this value. Megapascal means 150 Newton per mm square is my FCD value. Right. Now I am putting this FCD value and PD value in this equation. Then I can find my effective area of the section. Just verify whether you are getting same answer or not. आ रहा है आंसर?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now I'm just converting my value in centimeter square. So this is my effective area of the section that I can choose from the steel table or SP6. Right. So this is my first step to find the cross section area of the column. कौन सा एरिया लेना पड़ेगा कॉलम के लिए to satisfy this load condition, and for that I have assumed this FCD value. Later on we will check whether the assumption FCD is correct or not. Right. So this is the case. Now once you get the cross section area, now what you need to do is you need to use SP6. you need to use SP6 or steel table. So this is my SP6. This one is my SP6, right? Now I have shown you this SP6 in my lecture, that how you can get the value of any of the cross section that you are using for your design, right? So here it is mentioned, clearly mentioned in our data, that use I section. That's why I have opened my table number 1 for the I section, right? Now I think I have discussed this designation, weight and all these uh, properties of the section that you required from this is SP6 or steel table. Just verify once.
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
है ना? Okay. Okay. So this is my I section and all the properties are given over here. Now here in our case, we have this cross section area required to take care this design load. तो ये एरिया क्या है? 117.5 सेंटीमीटर स्क्वायर, 117.5 सेंटीमीटर स्क्वायर. So what we required is we need to choose such a section whose sectional area, यहाँ पे आपको देखना है, whose sectional area is more than 117.5 centimeter square, right? 117.5 centimeter square. तो ऐसा हमें कोई section लेना है. So I am just scrolling my page and wherever I will find more than 117.5, I will stop. Okay. Can you see over here in your steel table? See this. ISHB 450 दिख रहा है आपको?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
So this is my required section that I can use this section, because this is the sectional area, centimeter square. We required 117.5 and here it is given 117.89, right? So I can choose this section, not below that. ये हम नहीं ले सकते. ISHB 450 के दो सेक्शन दिए हैं. ISHB 450, here is it is also 450, but the area is different over here also and over here also. So we will take this values for our further calculation, right? So the next step, once you choose your section as per the preliminary requirement or preliminary data, next step is selection of section from steel table or SP6. You can get steel table from the stationery, or you, if you wish, you can use this SP6 also, right? So I have uploaded SP6 in your files in Teams, so you can download it, right? So once you get steel table भी यही ऐसा ही होता है. Now I have chosen my section as ISHB 450, and as this ISHB 450, if you can see, are, if if you write only ISHB 450, then you will get confused or someone get confused that which ISHB you are talking about. So for that condition you need to mention this weight over here. Here it is mentioned weight per minute. Sorry, weight per meter, kg per meter. So you need to mention over here that ISHB 450 at 92.5 kg per meter. Right. Now you require some values to be considered from that SP6 that you required for your further calculation. So that values are depth. I'm just making some. arrangement so that you can see both this simultaneously. Right. Okay. So the first requirement is depth. Right. So depth is here you can find this over here, depth of the section H. So that is 450. So here you need to write 450. Then second thing you required is width of the flange. So width of the flange is 250. So here it is written 250. Then you required thickness of flange TF. So here it is mentioned thickness of flange 13.7. So here it is 13.7. Then thickness of web TW. Thickness of web is also given 11.3. Here it is mentioned 11.3. Then you required radius of gyration RXX and RYY. So here it is mentioned 11.5. Here it is mentioned 5.08. Right. So radius of gyration also you need to write down. And last is area of cross section. So here you can get area of cross section is 117.89. This is 117.89. So once you choose your section as per the step 1, the next is to write the values that required for your design purpose. Clear everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Now till this is the preliminary requirement for the design of steel column. Now next onwards 2-3 slides are very important for the understanding of buckling class as mentioned in this clause 7.1.1 that buckling class A, B, C and D to get the value of this FCD. So we have this AE assumption AE assumption FCD में से हमें AE मिल गया, but to get the value of correct design you require to know this buckling class A, B, C, D. So next 2-3 slide I am explaining you what is buckling class A, B, C and D, and this is very important for this design, not for this design, in steel beam design also you will uh, require this concept. Now this is the stress strain curve for mild steel. All of you are knowing this standard curve for mild steel, right? This is the stress value, this one is the strain value. Now this region from 0 to B is your elastic region. So till this up to this is your elastic region, right? Then your once you apply the load till elastic region you will form the linearity, stress is proportional to strain, and if you remove the load your material will get back to its original position. That is the meaning of elastic region. Now after elastic region your material start yielding, right? So distance between this B point and D point is your yielding region where your material will start yielding permanent deformation, right? So that is my yielding point for the region. And after yielding you once if you apply more load it will again give the deformation, and at one point it will fade. So from this region to this region this is the permanent deformation in your steel section, right? So the distance between 0 to B is the elastic behavior of the structure. 0 to B is the elastic nature of the or behavior of the member, and after B point to F top point it is known as the plastic behavior of the material. Right. The simple difference between elastic and plastic is, here in elastic the linearity is formed, stress is proportional to strain, and if you remove the load it will again reshape its position. In plastic behavior, once the elastic limit over, beyond the elastic limit, your material start yielding, right? And it will yield up to its maximum yielding point. So here you will get the maximum yielding point, and after yielding point, if you again apply the load, it will redistribute the moment, it will get the resistance power, and due to ductility of the material, because steel is a ductile material, so due to ductility of the material it will give the permanent deformation before the failure. So that region from beyond this elastic to this necking point is known as the plastic behavior of the structure. And I am not sure whether you have studied plastic analysis in your structural analysis subject or not. If one can confirm me whether you have studied about plastic analysis.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then
Yes,
it is very good if you understand or if you have studied. Right. So here uh, our design, our steel design is based on whether you are designing your section for plastic or for elastic, right? So plastic design will give the safer design, secure design and strength design, whereas elastic behavior will not give the safer design, right? So depend on this stress strain curve. If this is the flexural member or any beam member, if you remember your strength of material concept, that if this is the cross section of your beam, right, this one is the neutral axis, and if you have studied analysis you must have seen this stage 1, 2, 3 and 4. Am I right? Plastic analysis के 4 stages.
yes, ma'am.
Right. So this one is the stage 1. What is this stage 1? In stage 1, your strain is less than yield strain because your section is in elastic region, or it is forming the region from 0 to elastic, right? So the yielding point is not there in your first stage where you are in between 0 to B, right? And your stress is also less than the yield stress, and the nature of the stress strain diagram will be of this triangle shape. So this is your stage 1. Now what will happen to stage 2? Now stage 2 is a sum or the point exactly after your elastic point, like after B, in between B to C dash. This is the stage that is called the stage 2. Now what will happen to stage 2? Now the elastic region is over, so your strain is forming the yield strength, right? So your epsilon 2 in second stage is equal to yield stress, and your stress is also equal to yield stress. So this is called the region beyond the elastic limit, beyond the elastic limit, that is my stage 2. Again the diagram will remain same as triangle because you have not passed the yielding limit. You have not passed the yielding limit. In third stage, what will happen? You have passed this yielding limit from B to D. B से B और D के बाद का जो भी diagram है, that is your stage number 3. Now what will happen to stage 3? Now your strain is more than the yielding strain, and your stress will be the constant. The stress will be the constant and strain will increase. Strain increase होगा but stress will remain constant. So here This one is the stage 3, right? And in stage 4, where you are in the proper plastic limit, then what will happen? Your strain value is much more higher than the yielding stress strain, and you will get the permanent yielding point of your section, and in stage 4 you will form the plastic hinges. Are you aware about this term, plastic hinges?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So at the stage 4 plastic hinges form. What is meaning of plastic hinges? That after developing the plastic hinges, once you apply the load, it will start rotating. Again it will redistribute the moment, so that your material will get more resistance towards the force, and after the yielding point it will fail. So plastic hinges आने के बाद क्या होता है? That it will deform. Yes, it will deform, it will rotate, but it will not fail up to its plastic limit. That is the fundamental of the plastic analysis, right? So in steel section also we required the classification of cross section as per clause number 3.7, as per clause number 3.7. So I am just showing you clause number 3.7 first, and then after we will discuss this case one by one. So this is my clause number 3.7, classification of cross section. So this classification of cross section is class 1 plastic section, class 2 compact section, class 3 semi compact section, and class 4 slender section. Right. So these are the 4 classification of steel section: plastic, compact, semi compact, and slender. Right. And this is the moment, curvature, nature or graph of this section. M, moment. This is the moment, and this is the curvature theta. So very first is the plastic. So the nature of the plastic section is somewhat like this. Up to this. This is the plastic section. And in plastic section, this way the stress distribution will be done. Here there will be the plastic hinges. Right. So the rotational capacity is maximum in the plastic section. Right. And this is called the plastic moment, MP. This is called the plastic moment, MP. Right. Second is the compact section. So now compact section I am showing with the different color. So compact section means from here up to this point. So what will happen to compact section? Compact section may be the plastic moment will come, but the rotational capacity compared with the plastic is less. Compared with the plastic is less, right? So for stress diagram, the stress diagram for compact section will be triangular. That will be triangular. Then third is the semi-compact. What will happen to semi-compact? Here the semi-compact section is up to the yielding point only. Up to the yielding point only. Here this plastic and compact section will go beyond the yielding point. Beyond the yielding point. Right. But this semi-compact section, that will up to the yielding point only, and that's why this moment is known as the yielding moment My. Right. And the diagram is triangular. Here for this compact, diagram is somewhat like this, and here you can write FP, plastic stress. Here also you can write FP, plastic stress. Right. And the fourth one is the slender section. What will happen to slender section? That will not go at least up to the yield stress. वो yield stress तक भी नहीं जाएगा. Your slender section. Your material fail before the yield stress, right? So that's why it is mentioned. The stress is below the yield stress, right? So that is called the slender section. That is called the slender section. So whenever you are choosing any of the section, the very first thing that you need to understand or you need to identify that whether your section is plastic, whether your section is semi-compact, whether it is compact और slender. ये चार का आइडेंटिफिकेशन आपको करना पड़ेगा. क्लियर एवरीवन?
Yes, ma'am.
Now coming
ma'am.
to this clause number 3.7.1. Plate element of a cross section may buckle locally due to compressive stresses. Right, due to compressive stresses, it will buckle. The local buckling can be avoided before the limit state is achieved by limiting the width to thickness of each element of a cross section subjected to compressive due to axial force, moment or shear. Means if you don't want the local buckling, as I explained earlier, what is local buckling? Local buckling is a failure of the member, that your member will not fail, means the whole member will not fail. Say for example you have I section, तो ये पूरा member fail नहीं होगा. Your this member will not fail, but part of the member will fail. Part of the I section is, this is flange, this one is web. तो क्या होगा? सपोज ये आपका जो फ्लेंज है ये ऐसा डिफ्लेक्ट होगा, राइट. समवेयर अगर आपका ये वेब पार्ट है तो वेब पार्ट ऐसे बकल हो जाएगा, यहाँ पे ये बकल होगा, राइट. सो होल सेक्शन विल नॉट फेल, होल सेक्शन विल नॉट फेल, बट आइदर फ्लेंज और वेब विल फेल. तो वो फेल नहीं करना है तो आपको क्या करना पड़ेगा? दैट यू मस्ट लिमिट योर वैल्यू ऑफ विड्थ टू थिकनेस रेशियो ऑफ ईच एलिमेंट. मतलब विड्थ ऑफ द फ्लेंज and thickness of the flange, like width of the wave, thickness of the wave. ये सब सही तरीके से आपको चूज करना पड़ेगा, so that only one member will not fail due to the local buckling. ठीक है. अगर आपने थोड़ा थिकनेस कम ले लिया होगा फ्लेंज का, तो जैसे ही आप अपना मेंबर कास्ट करके रखोगे तो एट इनिशियल लोड ओनली ड्यू टू दैट स्मॉल थिकनेस योर फ्लेंज विल फेल. तो ये पूरा लोड भी नहीं आएगा वो स्ट्रक्चर का उसके ऊपर बिफोर इट विल फेल, राइट. सो दैट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ दिस क्लॉज 3.7.1. नाउ 3.7.1.1. When plastic analysis is used, the member shall be capable of forming plastic hinges with sufficient rotation capacity, ductility without local buckling. Right. Now, if you are using the plastic analysis, so what is advantage of plastic analysis? Advantage of plastic analysis is it will form the plastic hinges, right? It will form the plastic hinges. What is role of plastic hinges? That from that hinges itself, the rotational capacity, your member will allow to rotate without buckling, right? And as you know that your steel is a ductile material, so by this rotation capacity can achieve by the ductility of material. तो ये जो प्लास्टिक हिंजेस फॉर्म होता है तो उससे क्या होता है कि मटेरियल वहां से बेंड होना चालू होगा, रादर द होल सेक्शन बकल. ठीक है. सो दैट वे दिस प्लास्टिक हिंजेस आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर द प्लास्टिक डिजाइन और सेफर डिजाइन. क्यों ऐसा होता है? So to enable the redistribution of bending moment required before formation of failure mechanism. मतलब कि प्लास्टिक हिंजेस और फेलर के बीच में जितना भी लोड आता है, जितनी भी मोमेंट आती है, वो रीडिस्ट्रीब्यूट होती है, एंड दैट्स व्हाई योर मटेरियल कैन गेट और मटेरियल कैन सस्टेन more load compared to the elastic one, right? तो ये जो नेक्स्ट क्लॉज है, व्हेन इलास्टिक एनालिसिस यू यूज द मेंबर शैल बी कैपेबल ऑफ डेवलपिंग द यील्ड स्ट्रेस अंडर कंपैरिजन विदाउट लोकल बकलिंग. तो इलास्टिक रीजन में क्या होता है, इट इज डिजाइन अप टू इट्स यील्ड स्ट्रेंथ ओनली, यहाँ तक ही उसका डिजाइन होता है, यील्ड स्ट्रेंथ, right? Not beyond the yield point. But here in plastic, up to the failure mechanism, with the help of plastic hinges, it will redistribute the moment. Clear everyone? Difference between elastic analysis and plastic analysis,
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
right? So again, this one is the same curve, class 1, 2 and 3. Class 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the applied moment on the material. The very first curve goes up to the failure mechanism is your plastic. High rotational capacity होती है उसमें, redistribution of moment ज़्यादा होता है, rotational capacity ज़्यादा होती है, so that is called the plastic section. Then second section lower than that is semi compact. It is forming the plastic moment. देखो यहाँ पे MP के ऊपर ही जा रहा है. It is forming the plastic moment, but the capacity of rotational is less than the class 1. मतलब जितना क्लास 1 में प्लास्टिक में होता है उतना सेमी कॉम्पैक्ट में नहीं होता है रोटेशनल कैपेसिटी, बट इट विल फॉर्म द प्लास्टिक मोमेंट और प्लास्टिक hinges. Then third one is the compact section where it is not going beyond the plastic limit. तो ये yielding और प्लास्टिक के बीच में होता है. So that will local buckling prevents attainment of full plastic movement, right? मतलब this is called the compact section where it will follow up to the yielding point only. And the fourth one is called the slender. Slender means it will not go beyond the yielding point, sorry, less than Fy. Yield point तक भी वो reach नहीं होगा और वो fail हो जाएगा. So from this 1, 2, 3, 4, what do you think? Which section is good for the safer design? And which one is the worst?
Class 1 is safe.
Class 1 is safe. You require plastic section, or somewhere you can get semi-compact section also. But you don't require such a section which will yield or which will fail before the yielding point. Right? So this clause 3.7, as I have shown you, this clause is used. So this all thing you just read from this code, and I have mentioned over here also one by one. So fatafat I will discuss this. The first is class 1 plastic cross section which can develop plastic hinges and have the rotational capacity required for failure of structure by forming the plastic mechanism, right? Or some other point, only these sections are used in plastic analysis and design. The section which will fall into class 1 is only used for the plastic analysis and design. So if it is mentioned that you need to design your section for plastic design only, then the section which will fall in this only designed for that plastic section. And the how to identify whether section is plastic or not, for that you need to see table number 2 from IS 800. So we will see that also later on. Then they can attain full plastic moment. Full plastic moment hota hai, as I shown over here also. पूरा प्लास्टिक मोमेंट आता है उसमें. Then these are the only section used in indeterminate frames forming plastic Kolev mechanism. So whenever you are dealing with the indeterminate structures, indeterminate frame, then it is very important to consider these plastic hinges, because that the frames are made up with the number of elements and you require the safer design for each and every element by forming the plastic mechanism or plastic hinges. Then the stress distribution for this section is rectangle. Stress distribution for this section is rectangular. That means if this is your beam member or any cross section, this is the neutral axis. And if I want to draw the stress distribution, then stress distribution is like this. This is the meaning of this table. Clear everyone? This is the hinge. So this is my stress distribution. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Plastic section का stress distribution. Now next is class 2. Class 2 is my compact section. Sorry. Class 2 is my compact section. So cross section which can develop plastic moment of resistance. So in compact plastic moment develop होता है. See this curve. Second curve. Plastic moment develop होता है, but have inadequate plastic hinge rotation capacity. Plastic hinges भी होता है, but the rotation capacity is less compared to class 1 due to the local buckling, because somewhere in some semi compact the chances of local buckling will be there, so it will not allow the proper rotation capacity at the point of plastic hinges, right? So the width to thickness ratio of the plate element shall be less than that of under class 2 but greater than specify under class 1. मतलब इसका मीनिंग क्या है, that your semi compact, suppose semi compact का जो भी स्ट्रेस है, राइट, प्लास्टिक से ज़्यादा होगा, द मीनिंग ऑफ दिस, और ये ऐसा होगा, प्लास्टिक से ज़्यादा होगा सेमी कॉम्पैक्ट, राइट. Then this section may be develop fully plastic stress distribution across the entire cross section but do not have adequate ductility. Ductility ज़्यादा नहीं है, इसलिए रोटेशनल कैपेसिटी रिड्यूस होगी. डक्टिलिटी हो तो ही रोटेशनल कैपेसिटी पूरा फॉर्म होता है. Then this can be used for all structural elements that be column, वो सब structural element में you can use this semi compact section. The stress distribution for this section is again rectangle, मतलब ऐसा ही stress distribution होता है इस तरीके. This is called the FP. FP find कैसे करोगे आप? How to find FP? ऐसे rotational moment, plastic moment is equal to FP into Z. Right, plastic section modulus find करोगे. So that we will see. Then third is semi compact. So cross section in which the extreme fiber in compression can reach the yield stress but cannot develop the plastic moment of resistance due to local buckling. मतलब ये थर्ड केस में वो प्लास्टिक तक जाएगा ही नहीं, yield point तक ही जाएगा, right? And the width shall be less than specified under class 3 but greater than specified under class 2. So this we will see at the time of design. So again some silent features. This section can develop a moment resistance just equal to the yield moment M1. Then it is not capable of reaching a fully plastic steel distribution. And these sections are used in the elastic design only, and the stress distribution is triangular. So if you want to draw the stress distribution for semi compact, then this is the stress distribution for semi compact, and here you need to write down yield stress Fy. Here you can write Fp. Here also you can write Fp, plastic stress. But in semi-compact, Fy. Last is the slender. So cross section in which the elements buckle locally even before reaching the yield stress. मतलब ये yield stress को भी reach नहीं करेगा. Right. So the component elements buckle at a moment less than m1. So that member is called as the slender member. Then one more clause is given in 3.7. When different element of cross section fall under different classes, the section shall be classified as governed by the most critical section. This term we will see at the time of, ये जब हम टेबल नंबर 2 देखेंगे उस टाइम पे मैं आपको बताऊंगी what is meaning of this table. Right. So I think time is over. So I will stop over here and